Welcome to the Sounds of Real Estate, live from the Advised Realty Services studio here in Southington, Connecticut. With me this evening, Denise Rivera.
Hello.
Hello. Denise, from Comparion Insurance Agency. Yeah?
That's it. Yeah.
Is that the correct name?
You got it.
Awesome. I love it. Well, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, this is awesome. So, a little bit about yourself.
So a little bit about what I do.
Yeah.
I sell insurance. I mean, pretty vaguely, if I'm going to describe it. I do personal lines. So what that means is auto, home, life, umbrella, pet, renters. I can refer commercial insurance, but basically what I try to do, I set up partnerships with real estate agents, with lenders, so that we could build teams so that we make the home buying process as seamless as possible and as worry-free as possible for the client. And I've been doing this about 4 years. I've been selling almost 4 years, and it's been awesome. I love it.
Yeah, it sounds, I mean, you've come in here before to talk to the agents about, everything that you do, and it is really cool. And I love the fact you just mentioned, like, seamless. It's a really, really important word and process for anybody who's purchasing a home or purchasing, like, insurance. There's a lot that goes into it. I'm sure just like real estate, there's a bunch of stuff that goes into when people have to purchase. So, like, making it as seamless as possible is something that, like, we're big on. So it's good to hear that you're the same way, right? You always got to, like, troubleshoot, put out fires, I'm sure,
100%. And I think it's more so being consultative. I think people don't really understand what they're purchasing when they purchase something online. I had to take a test. I had to take 2 state exams to do what I do. And people can go online and buy their own insurance, and then they wind up grossly underinsured. Or, there's situations where they thought they had one thing and they don't. Best case scenario, it'll hold up closing. Worst case scenario, you lose everything you've ever worked for your entire life.
Yes.
So you don't, I always tell people, even if you don't go with me, you need to talk to an agent. You need to make sure that your coverage is where it needs to be, especially now. People that have policies or have had policies in place for years think that they're all set, but they're not accounting for inflation. So they might have coverage that was adequate 20 years ago, but it's no longer adequate. There's people that, again, will buy it online and have huge detached garage with a loft space, a man cave or something like that, $150,000 garage, and they don't have the coverage.
Wow. So God forbid something happens to the man cave, you're not covered.
That's it. Now you have a she shed.
Yeah.
It's done. It's over.
Now you got nothing.
You got nothing.
So what do you do? Like, what if somebody's starting to, somebody's like starting to look, like, what are your first steps, for a home buyer? Like, they're going out to look at a house. Like, what is enough?
So we base it off of there's a bunch of different factors that go into it. The type of home, the age of the home, again, your other structures, meaning like detached garages, sheds, things like that. We look at the property as a whole. If the home is under construction, if you have an in-ground pool, if you have a pit bull, if you have a German Shepherd, there's a lot of different things that go into it that certain carriers, that's not their appetite.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A home under construction, there's a lot of insurance companies that won't write it. We do have carriers that will write it. What I've also done is I've integrated myself with other insurance agents that I don't have access to those carriers.
Yeah.
So I give the customer a quick call and say, hey, listen, I couldn't help you, but I do have more people. That's the part where I say it has to be as seamless as possible, because now I'm throwing this back on the customer and saying, kind of figure it out. No, I got it.
Yeah.
I'm going to send it. I'm going to have one of my friends give you a call, see if they can help you out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we take as much off of the customer's plate as possible. But again, it all depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for, a lot of people love vintage homes. You want to make sure you're adequately insured. You want to make sure that, do you want to build it to the specs that you had, for this vintage house, or do you want to build it to today's specs with, PVC and this, that, and the third, you know what I mean? Not these mahogany mantles and stuff like that. You got to figure out what you want. So we make sure that once they decide on a home, they are getting excellent coverage.
Yeah. And I think it's important because a lot of people really don't know that,
Right.
Like, they're just going to buy. And I love the fact that it's a very, like, hands-on thing. I think in both of our industries, I think it's super important to help people throughout the process, to educate them, to advise. Usually confetti falls, but like usually to get them through that whole process and make it like the seamless as possible, because a lot of people go into it like, what are we doing? Even us, like a lot of times if we're going to show a house, shoreline, Milford or anything in the water, like we usually give a call and say, hey, check it out for flood insurance. What does it need? What does it not need? And that's changed also, right? Hasn't flood insurance, like a lot of it has changed, like with the new FEMA regs and stuff.
I'll be honest, I just avoided that kind of business for such a long time because it was such a pain in the butt. But now I'm seeing it come up more and more and more, where even places that you wouldn't think are flood zones require even a small policy because of marshes or swamplands and things like that they've had an issue, at some point before. I'll be honest with you, I don't know exactly how the zones have changed, if they have changed, but we do work with FEMA and another private carrier called Neptune Flood Insurance. And again, there are other carriers out there. I work with other agents that write other carriers. But yeah, flood can make or break a deal. Yeah. And I've seen it happen, many, many times. So
yeah. And even with, like you were just saying, with insurance, I feel like, I mean, me just sitting here listening, like I haven't shopped my insurance around for like years, So like a lot of people I'm sure do that also, right?
Yeah.
Like they just hold on to a policy and they're just like, well, auto draft out of my account, and like never look into it and say like, can I get a better rate? Can I do something better? Or like my house insurance.
Especially with the homeowner's insurance, I've seen that a lot, because I think with the auto insurance, especially your homeowner's insurance is usually escrowed unless you pay your house off or you decide to pay it out of pocket. But it's usually escrowed. So it's kind of set it and forget it.
Yeah.
When your mortgage goes up, you just automatically assume, oh, I must have tax increase. But from when you started your policy to now, your rate's gone up $2,000.
Yeah.
And you haven't shopped your rates around. So I think it's a rule of thumb, at least once a year, you just shop it around, see what's out there. A lot of people say, oh, I've had the same agent for 20 years. Okay, so what have they done for you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Have you called them up and said, hey, my rate goes up. All right, let me see if I could shop it around. Let me see what I could do for you. And that's the beauty of having all these carriers that we have, is that we have that option. Trust me, I want to build the type of business that they say, I've had Denise for 20 years.
Yeah,
great.
good to go.
You know what I mean? But I also understand that comes with a level of responsibility that I have to keep them happy.
Yeah.
With your auto insurance, most people see that bill hit every month and they're like, why am I paying $350 for one car? Like, I got to call up Denise, It's not as common with the homeowners.
I should have you look at my car insurance.
Yeah, I'll look at it.
And our homeowners, Gina. What are we doing? No, but I think, definitely. I think that sometimes like we just get stuck, you know what I mean? Like we're just like, oh, all right, draft, like I was saying, and we don't look at it, but it's definitely good to always take a look at that stuff, Yeah.
There's like retention wise, clients like you are, they're gold. You know what I mean? Like, it's great, Yeah.
People that don't pay attention to their bills are excellent.
Right.
Here I am.
Yeah.
Excellent. So that's really cool. And then as far as before this whole insurance career, what were you doing?
Believe it or not.
Yeah.
I was a career firefighter.
No way.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I was a firefighter and EMT, and that was pretty cool. It was a lot of fun. I was injured in the line of duty, and here I am.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. My mom is a retired police officer, and I wanted to kick doors down and be the hero.
Yeah.
And not kick doors down and be the enemy. You know what I mean? So I was like, I don't want to be a cop. Let's see if I could be a firefighter.
Yeah. Our middle one, Haley went and got her EMT.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So she was working in Oxford. But it was pretty cool. You know what I mean? I think it's.
I'll tell you what. High five to all EMTs and medics out there, because when I tell you I have a lifetime full of neck and back issues because of my job, my time in the fire department and on the ambulance, it is rough.
I can imagine.
It's rough.
I can imagine. It's got to be like grueling. You know,
it depends. And also, like if you're working in a big city.
Were you in Connecticut?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I worked in Middletown and in New Haven on the ambulance. But luckily, the ambulance company I worked for was kind of the second option to AMR.
Oh, okay. So
I wasn't getting beat up too bad, but just moving people.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think it was a lot. It was a lot of pain. I still suffer till this day.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I can imagine. Yeah, it doesn't sound. I mean, super rewarding. You know what I mean? Like I think that's so, especially like when your kid is in it and you look at everything that they do and study for and have to go through. You're like, wow, man, that's like you don't look at like a career until like somebody is in it. I feel like you know what I mean. So it is a real tough thing.
It's honestly, I don't regret my time in the fire department or in EMS. A part of me is glad that I no longer have to beat up my body like that.
Insurance is just beating up your brain now.
That's it. Like you're just taking the abuse somewhere else.
You're just taking the physical abuse.
Yeah.
I mean, mental abuse.
Right. But again, it was a lot of fun. We got to do a lot of cool stuff. Met awesome people. I've met people that were on their worst days and they've come back to me when they were on their best days, which was probably the coolest part, where you see people in a wreck or see people that struggled with addiction or see people that were really at a low point in their life and they come back a year later. And even if they don't, hey, I don't remember your name, but I remember you helped me, and I'm just like,
yeah, that's, those are all like gratifying, like scenarios or like life situations when that happens, that's really cool.
But it's funny because both with insurance and with EMS, these people are calling you on the worst days of their lives. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy because one is so like opposite of the other one, but they both on the same day that you're calling 911, you're likely calling some form of insurance. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So especially for me, like, your house burns to the ground. You're after 911, your next call is
insurance.
Your insurance company, what are you going to do for me?
Yeah, even fires, man. It's so, there's like, so when you hear like insurance, it's always like, wow, like you were just saying, something went wrong, which is.
And I think people also forget that you don't have to wait until you purchase a home to get insurance. Renter's insurance is very valuable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's a huge risk when you rent, right? Mm-hmm. If you live in a huge apartment building, it's not just you that has the likelihood of doing something as causing a fire or anything like that. There's units all over the place. Yeah. You have no idea what's going on in there. Space heaters, candles left unattended. You leave a window open with a candle on and the curtain just blows over it.
There you go. You got fire.
Right.
Yeah.
And nobody thinks of that. Nobody thinks, and everyone's like, oh, well, you know what? It's the building's problem. No,
it's your problem.
That's your problem.
Yeah. Like I own insurance on this unit. Oh, you know what I mean? You have to, like, God forbid anything happens, somebody falls or whatever, equipment, like it's needed, you know?
Right. And so your building has a responsibility to replace the building. Mm-hmm. All of its contents are your personal property that is not covered. So a lot of people assume that, the landlord will take care of it. And it's like
not how it works.
Unfortunately, not in the real world.
Yeah. So then, how did you get from that? Like, what? I mean, besides the physical and draining of everything, how'd you get involved? Like, what introduced you to the insurance work?
So I did sales for a little bit. I did jewelry sales, and I am a people person. I like to talk. I'm not shy. I will go up to whoever. I'll start a conversation. And I wound up being very good at the jewelry sales, and I was getting booked, and it was honestly overwhelming because it was taking up all my weekends and stuff like that. And, I was like, I got to slow down with this, or I got to figure out something else. And my friend actually worked for the company, and I called her up and I'm like, hey, I'm a college dropout with a potty mouth, and I have, fire certifications. Like, what you got for me, you know? And she was like, no, I think you'd be a good fit in sales. And so I talked to a couple people, went on a couple interviews, and I wound up getting the job. And I will tell you, and I've learned this more in corporate than I did in fire school, being uncomfortable, it is the catalyst for growth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For me, I was comfortable in knowing that I was a strong person. Mm-hmm. I was comfortable in knowing that I knew the process of reviving somebody. I knew what I needed to do to put out a fire. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm comfortable in. going into corporate and setting up relationships and like meeting these white collar buttoned up people when I'm a grunt that swears all the time. You know what I mean? Like I was like, I gotta tone it down. I was freaking out, but I kind of just had faith in myself, and I knew that I've been in bad situations before or hard situations, and I knew how to get out of them.
Yeah.
Or I knew that hard work got me out of them. So it was a lot of me watching and looking at other people and seeing what they did and hearing how they spoke. And, I was the type of person before I actually listened to my peers, somebody was like, oh, all right, well, I got to talk to my husband. I'll call you back. And I was like, oh, okay. And now I'm like, get your husband on the phone. I'll call your husband right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We'll see what we can do.
Yeah. There's not a question that I can't answer that your husband's going to ask you. Get him on the phone,
Yeah.
So it's just more so like just getting, now to me, that's comfortable. Now I want to make myself uncomfortable. I want to keep growing in what I'm doing. So I have to find more avenues and
you reinvent yourself every day,
all the time.
I think that's like something, and being comfortable. We were away last weekend. Went to go see our family in Rochester, and I feel like I'm always saying that in the podcast. We do come see you guys a lot. I did. A couple of weeks ago I was talking to somebody, and same thing. Something happened in Rochester, but we're up in Rochester, and I went to go get my haircut, and we walk into this barbershop, and I sit down, and the girl was like, she had to be like 20, 21 years old or whatever. And she was just like looking at me very nervous when I started telling her what I wanted. And she was like, I don't know. I think you should wait. This is my first day and stuff like that. I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, oh, I was going to cosmetology school and I didn't want to do it anymore. I had a passion for cutting hair. So I said, listen, if you have a passion for cutting hair, you're going to do a great job on my hair. Like, go ahead. And she's like, what if I mess up? I'm like, you're not going to mess up,
Right. It's not
like
an option.
it's like you got to be like, you're comfortable. You would be totally comfortable with me just saying like, let me get up and go to another person. Like, that's not going to help you. You know what I mean? Like, do it. You got it. And she did a good job. You know what I mean? Like, she like got through it and did it. And at the end, she was like, thank you so much. Thank you. But I think that comes from, like you just said, like me being in situations where I wasn't comfortable doing something, and then believing in yourself, knowing that you could do it, learning a little bit more on how to do it better. And then you go ahead and thrive and do it,
I mean, I'm the type of person that like, I'm confident to a fault. You know what I mean? Like, I'll figure it out. If I don't know it, I'll ask a question. I'm not afraid to ask questions. Yeah. If you shame me for asking questions, I'll go back to me having a potty mouth and being like, bro, like, I'm not the one. You know what I mean? Like, I want to learn from people. I want to learn from my peers, and I want to be great at what I do. You know what I mean? And when I see people that will say, I'm really good, I'm really great at this, and people say, oh, they're awfully arrogant. LeBron James doesn't walk around and say, oh, I'm all right.
Yeah, he knows he's good.
Right.
He practices. He does what he has to do.
And those are the people that are that confident that I want to learn from, so that I could bring that. I want to be that confident. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that I know that what I'm doing is correct. Yeah. You know what I mean? Why wouldn't you want to be confident and proud of what you're doing?
Yeah. I'm a big Conor McGregor fan. Mm-hmm. So my thing with him is like, everybody hates the guy. I hate him. I'm like, what do you hate him for? Well, he's arrogant. Well, he's going into a fight and he's saying that he's the best. He's also saying that he's going to beat you up. He's saying all these things because he's like putting it in his mind that he's that. Yeah, he's manifesting it that he's going to do it. So there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? Not. There's nothing wrong with saying like, I'm going to be great today. I always say to the agents and everything, like, I talk to myself all the time. You know what I mean? Like, I'm always having conversations. But in the morning, you have that conversation with yourself, like, what are we doing today, Vinny? Like, what do we got going on? What's on the agenda or whatever, Right. So believing in yourself is the first step to doing anything, I think, in life.
And competing with yourself, right?
Yeah.
Like I was good yesterday. I want to be great today. I want to be better today. Yeah. It's funny you mentioned him. I was a big Ronda Rousey fan. Same thing. Yeah. Oh, she's arrogant. She's this, she's that. I'm like, she's the best. She's paved the way. Yes, she wound up getting beat up. Yeah. But you know what? She paved the way for that chick to beat her up. Yeah. You know what I mean?
She did.
Like,
if she didn't go through that, and then if you talk about like Ronda Rousey got beat by, Holly Holm, then got beat by Amanda Nunes. The Pena girl that beat Nunes was somebody who believed in herself, somebody who went in there and said, I'm going to beat the crap out of Amanda Nunes. And guess what she did? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like manifesting and doing all that stuff is huge. I think it is one of the most important things that like we should never lack, because as long as, like I said, as long as you believe in yourself, you're going to be okay.
Right.
You know?
I mean, you can see even the difference from the conversation we were having where it's, you know, the woman saying she's got to talk to her husband, and I'm, oh, okay, there's no confidence there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As opposed to, hey, get your husband on the phone.
Yeah.
Let's call him.
Yeah.
What are you going to say now? Oh, he's working. All right, cool. I'm actually free at 4:30.
Yeah.
You know what
Call
I mean?
us back. Let me know. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it's a much different conversation that you're having too, you know? Like, and when you're on the phone with somebody that is confident, you are more comfortable naturally.
Yeah.
You know
Well,
what I
you're
mean?
you're making, when somebody's on the phone with you, or even if somebody's like in real estate, like 9 times out of 10, somebody will say to me like, I could never do real estate because I can't sell. You know, like I don't consider myself like a salesman. You know what I mean? I don't walk in a house and I'm like, "Ooh, wait till you see this home."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm giving you like the confidence and like of what I know and like my knowledge to like help you make that purchase. You know what I mean? So it's the same thing. When it comes across that way, it's not coming across as like a Wolf on Wall Street type deal. You know what I mean? Like, yo, you got to do it now. Or, you know, like when they go underneath their desk and make believe like, oh, now it's boiler room. They go underneath the desk and make believe like he's closing the door to his office or whatever.
Yeah.
You're not like doing some pitch. You're like genuinely trying to help these people, you
Right.
know? And it comes across as confident because you know what you're talking about.
Right. 100%.
Yeah.
I do believe in being a confident human being. You know, when there are successful people in the room, I don't see that as competition. That's opportunity. You know what I mean? I want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah.
You know, like there's 3 bad bees that walk in the room. Now there's, you know, now there's a 4th. I walked in. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
love that. And I think with so, I don't know, like, you know, with social media and, you know, even doing these things or, you know, like last month it was, or no, wait, what was it last month? In December, we did or February, we did like a Super Bowl video, you know? And we did a Super Bowl video and we like invited other agents from other brokerages to come. And I had like, you know, Kevin Green, Allison Hughes, people from like other brokerages. And a couple people were like, "Oh, why would you bring other people from other brokerages in?" And I'm like, "It's okay. They're awesome. You know, we're awesome. We're going to do like an awesome video together. I think it's amazing. Like, it's not something where you're sitting there and you're like, I'm not going to do this because like this person is busy. You know what I mean? Like, it just makes no sense. You know what I mean? If you have the confidence to go in there and, like you said, like hold your own in a room, you could do it. You know?
Absolutely. And one thing I've noticed too is that even so, just like insurance is not one size fits all, insurance agents aren't one size. We might not vibe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like with the partnerships that I've created with other real estate agents, I might not be their cup of tea.
Yeah.
And that's okay. You know what I mean? And that's where getting other agents involved is super helpful. You know, hey, it didn't work out with me. What about with her?
Yeah.
Or what about with him? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you need to know other people in your in your like field. You know, you need to be able to pitch something there, or how easy it could be if you're like you guys are doing something together. How it's easier to work with one another. You know.
Yeah, and even in my own company, it happens often where we will split a deal. Hey, listen, I'm not doing so hot on this end. Maybe you give it a try, or hey, you know, I don't have time for that. Like we within my own company do it. And so I think that competition like that is really just you're viewing it the wrong way.
Yeah.
It's a learning experience.
100%. You gotta be open to different things, and you gotta be okay with learning. You know, even like on social media, I feel like, you know, I follow people or I talk to people in like California, real estate agents, or Atlanta, Oklahoma, people that are doing things, and you're like, oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
you know?
Right. I mean, I think limiting yourself like that is a disservice to yourself. You know what I mean? I don't know everything, you know?
Yeah.
So why wouldn't I talk to somebody that's been in this field for 25 years?
Yeah. Knowledge is power, right?
100%. 100%.
So any good plans for upcoming? I mean, we're already in April, which is nuts. I can't believe that already.
I actually said that today. It's April.
Yeah.
It
yeah.
is.
April's Friday is going to be 1 year that Advise has been open.
Oh,
Yeah.
congratulations.
So thank you.
That's
So
awesome.
I can't even not believe how fast that went by, but it's been like a whirlwind. It's like, I feel like yesterday, you know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
like putting everything together, but it's crazy. So heading into spring, summer, any good plans?
Well, this spring summer market, as you know, is a very busy market.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a lot of working going on. But I do plan on taking a couple of trips or winning. So we actually win trips for work. So I'm going all in on trying to win a trip to Montana.
My niece just went to Montana.
Yeah.
She loved it.
I heard it's incredible.
Montana itself, though, Elena and her boyfriend went and said it was absolutely gorgeous. So, Elena, you met, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so you can reach out to her. She's been there, and she absolutely loved it.
Yeah. I just got back from Nashville.
Which I heard was nice.
It's very cool. 3 days. That's it. I cannot. I am over 30. I can't hang. I needed a nap every day.
Yeah.
I was tired. I will say the humidity down there, even at this time of year, was a lot. Especially if you're from up north and you're used to that nice little chill. You know, when you walk out your front door, no.
Yeah.
And I obviously have a lot of curly hair, so I look, I look like a poodle down there. But it was nice. It was really cool. The live music was really incredible. And every single person, whether I like the music or not, was so talented.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? From the guitarists, the bass players, and the drummers, the singers, everybody was super, super talented.
Oh, that sounds really cool.
It was very, very cool. So, and then at the end of July, I will be going to Arizona and Utah, which, hey, Steph, I need time off. And then I'm taking my daughter to Disney at some point.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, so you got a lot of good stuff planned. In between the craziness of everything going on, you got some good vacations planned and stuff.
Yeah, I actually won the trip to Disney with my daughter. I won it through work. So
nice.
We're going to go and have a good time.
Good.
But it's weird,
Congrats.
though, because I feel like she's like, Mom, are we really going to Disney? I'm like, really? I went to Disney when I was 23 for the
me
first
too.
time.
My first time, I was in my 20s when I went. Yeah.
And she's like, really, Disney? I'm like, oh, my God. Would you rather be sitting on your couch? Like, you can do anything right. So
we're always trying. How old is she?
8.
8. Yeah.
Yeah. We have the same birthday. She was born on my 25th birthday.
Nice.
So it's funny. We go out in public and it's my birthday. Oh, happy birthday. Say happy birthday to my mother.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Sticking up for mama seats.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. What about you?
Summer, we're going to be jammed, probably, a lot of stuff going on here, but I have my town in Italy, our soccer team is doing really, really, really well. Napoli, and they might be winning the championship this year. So right now I'm thinking of doing something crazy and going for like a week.
Just go.
Just go.
Just go.
Catch a game.
Go.
Celebrate a little bit.
I wait. Just do it.
But luckily we're right here on Lake Hitchcock in Wolcott, so we get to enjoy like the water and stuff like that. So summer probably gonna take a trip out to Narragansett. We got married there out there last year.
I love Narragansett.
Oh, it's so nice.
Yeah.
So we'll probably head out there for like a week or so. Little vacations here and there,
Yeah.
So it definitely sounds like you have a lot planned for the summer, which is good. A lot of hot plans for the summer.
I'm gonna try to get myself used to the heat somehow. Just walk around in a
Try
room.
to hit some saunas before you go, and just get used to that kind of heat.
Have you ever done a steam room?
No, saunas I love.
Saunas aren't bad.
Yeah.
I don't mind. Steam room?
Yeah, no.
10 out of 10 worst experience.
No, I've been trying to get to hot yoga, but just haven't made it. Yeah, I heard it's rough.
There's one right behind my house. It is
It is rough.
It's rough.
Yeah, but saunas I could sit in there for a very long time. I do love that, but never steam.
The cold plunge too is rough too.
Yeah. I tried that a couple times, even at the lake. It's just not. Takes a couple times, they say, to get it through, but it's too cold, and I know it's good for you, but I just can't do it.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that are good for you.
Yeah,
but you
shouldn't do. That's right. But Denise, it was awesome. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, pleasure. If you just want to let people know, phone number, easiest way to get a hold of you, we'll also have all your information here.
Sure. You guys can reach out directly to me on my cell phone. It's 203-213-4390, or you can try my office line. It's 860-494-7636, and I'll have him put my email up there too.
Yeah, we'll put her email right here.
Perfect. Sounds great.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for tuning in. See you guys next week on The Sounds of Real Estate.